that, the Minister of Tourism and Culture, Ahmad Ba, said his ministry will disburse $100 million to support businesses and institutions within the tourism sector across the country. The move is prompted due to the high impact of the virus in the country's tourism industry. Khadijatu Jawa has more.
Speaking during the press conference on Wednesday, Mr. Ba told journalists that the coronavirus came unexpectedly and it has inflicted serious damages on the social and economic lives of people. Honorable Ba said people should learn to live with the virus because the borders will open soon for the 2020-2021 tourist season.
And I always believe that COVID is here to stay. COVID is here to stay as what cholera did. As I said, when cholera came to the Gambia, Hassan, was it in 1869? When cholera came to the Gambia in 1869, the then colonial government took some measures to make sure that not the whole country was affected by this sickness and this disease. When we started working on COVID-19, we went back to the archives and we saw some of the measures that were then engaged or taken up by the then colonial government.
The African Development Bank, in its Regional Economic Outlook report, indicated that Gambia tourism sector will be the hardest hit, with arrivals set to decline by 28% from 2019, for a loss of $110 million in revenue and 20,000 jobs. Tourism Minister said, as the most affected ministry from the pandemic, they were on standby to protect their people.
And of course, tourism went on zero ground. And indeed, the president made a declaration on a national disaster, of course, a pandemic, declared this country a pandemic, in a state of pandemic. And that, as a result, means that tourism was on ground zero and was dead. Now, we felt as a ministry, at the time, I think 2 days after the declaration, my ministry summons called on a meeting of all the stakeholders, including the Ministry of Finance, as to the way forward. Before anybody started taking any decision, 2 days after COVID was declared, we took measures to try to see what can we do to help mitigate some of the challenges that we may face in COVID and during COVID.
Honorable Ba said his ministry was almost bankrupt as a result. Ministry deemed it necessary to help the sector and its partners.
To the President of the Republic and the Vice President and the entire cabinet for supporting this ministry in this quest. And again, I must stand here to thank rather, the Ministry of Finance, the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance stood up with all our requests, with all the efforts to support us in our quest to make sure we supported this industry. His permanent secretary and his staff were all with us. Again, I need to thank the National Assembly members, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the minority leader, the majority leader, and the entire leadership of the National Assembly, who stood up. We were there with them sometime until 1 a.m. to make sure that at least our ministry gets support that would help the industry to come back to normalcy.
The beneficiaries include Fajara Skills Development Center, National Center for Arts and Culture, tourist taxi drivers, hairdressers, Senegambia and Kotu market vendors, among others. iAfrica TV, Khadijatu Jao.
Due to the impact of the pandemic, $100 million will be disbursed to the tourism sector